Hey guys, Classy Gengar here, and today we are doing something a little different. So basically what had happened was I recorded the battles live, but my child started, he got really fussy. So I wasn't actually able to do a live commentary because I kept having to get up and trying to comfort him. But since I had the battles recorded live, I decided I would just kind of go through what was going on in my mind from what I can remember. I had 3 battles done this way, and he pretty much he cried a good bit during all 3 battles. So that's why I'm doing this. I already know the outcomes of these battles. I know, I just moved the screen and everything. So today we're going to be battling Jose. He's a member of my Pokemon group, the Professional League. That link will be in the description below. Now I've battled him multiple times, and he's really good. He's a really solid battler, usually always really close battles, and great matches every single time. So I know this is going to be a quality battle, and never underestimate this guy, no matter how ridiculous his team looks, you know. Yeah. Oh my god. Alright. So, yeah, and I built this team kind of spontaneously. I decided I needed a new team to use because my match with Hayden I was so disappointed in how it worked out. And so I built this team kind of from scratch out of Pokemon, I've already had, threw some new ones in. Or like, I've used these Pokemon before, but not in this particular arrangement. So today I'm bringing with me my Scarf Garchomp, my Citrus Berry Tapu Lele, which I'm probably going to change the item on it, Delmise with leftovers, my Fairy Memory Silvally, which I'm probably going to completely remove from the team, Specially Defensive Celesteela, and my Physical Wall Toxapex. And he's actually got a pretty intense team. He's got Celesteela, Alola Marowak, Tapu Fini, Mamoswine, Tapu Koko, and Mega Metagross. Now, I always have a problem with Mega Metagross. It's so tough. It's probably one of the best Megas, him and Mega Scizor. But it's really easy to wall Mega Scizor with Celesteela. So, that's probably my dedicated counter to Mega Scizor. Or Scizor in general, because it's so easy to just set up and do some serious damage. So I actually don't know what to lead with this battle, so I'm just going to lead with my Silvally. Now I figure I can pretty much survive any attack, and I can get a Flame Charge up and outspeed pretty much anything, unless it's something that's Scarfed. So I'm just going to go for the Flame Charge here, and he is just going to go for a Thunderbolt. Now, it does really good damage to me. Like, really good damage, considering it's neutral. But this thing, Tapu Koko hits really hard, especially with the Life Orb. And it's in the electric terrain, so I'm actually kind of surprised I survived that. So with +1 in speed, I'm definitely outspeeding this thing now, so I'm not in the worst spot. I mean, obviously I don't have much HP left, so I can't like sweep or anything, obviously. And he has plenty of counters to this with his Mega Metagross, easily counters Fairy type Silvally, so I might change it out for a Flame, the Flame one, the Fire Memory. Probably would be a much better play for me, or maybe Dark Memory. Something that kind of counters Mega Metagross easier and isn't completely wrecked by him. So we're taking our time, or at least he is. He's thinking swapping to whatever. And he might not notice what typing my Silvally is at this point. I don't know if he's paying too much attention to what's going on the screen. And he's taking his time, which is fine. He always, thinks 2 steps ahead, and it does him well. And he actually straight up withdraws and goes into his Tapu Fini to take the Flame Charge. So he gets up Misty Surge, and this thing is very, very defensive. And my multi-attack does decent damage for it. I mean, Savali's base attack stat is nothing to be too impressed about. I mean, it's not too crazy. It's average. Like, it's got very average stats, but it's in everything, so he can have quite the utility. So I'm just gonna go for the other multi-attack. I'm just gonna let Savali go down here. Try to get some damage off, and I don't really have anything I want to swap into Tapu Fini. I mean, it is what it is, and Savali pretty much didn't really do a whole lot, so that's the main reason why I'm going to be swapping him out, is because he doesn't do a lot. And you'll see I used this team for 3 battles, and all 3 battles he didn't really do very much. So I'm actually going to swap into my Dhelmise here, and realistically, I mean, I went for Power Whip, because if he did stay in, it would have taken it out, like, almost definitely, because this thing hits pretty hard. But I kind of figured Celesteela would come in, because it's a very good counter, Celesteela or the Alola Marowak, to eat that grass type attack, but I felt like I still really should go for the Power Whip. So I do just lock myself into Power Whip here. And he's just gonna swap in his Celesteela to eat this up, and it does nothing, like literally nothing to Celesteela. So as we see here, this thing is defensive as all hell, and I'd scratch it. It's like maybe a scratch. Maybe not a dent though. So I kind of predict that he's going to go for another, he's going to go for Leech Seed. He's going to predict the swap. I don't want to take a Flamethrower, you know. And he's going to want to get that recovery, because he's not leftovers, I don't believe. So I'm actually going to go for the Phantom Force, predicting the Leech Seed, and it actually works out. Phantom Force does do a pretty decent amount of damage to Celesteela, and I am slower than him, so I will be able to avoid some attacks that way. And he forgets or isn't too sure about how, pardon me, about how Phantom Force works, because he tries to protect here, but you might have had no other play. I mean, he didn't want to waste PP for one of his attacks. And it actually does, you know, decent damage, considering I'm pretty sure I'm more of a defensive Dhelmise than an offensive one. I don't know if I would really run offensive Dhelmise. But he actually does go for the Flamethrower here. It's not stab, it is super effective, but, you know, I will live, and I am leftovers, so I will get 2 turns of leftovers, and he is pretty much stuck taking some damage. And it's doing pretty good damage to his defensive Celesteela, so he's not going to want to swap into anything else to take that, because what does he have really? What would he really want to take that? I mean, it's super effective against 2 of his Pokemon, and I believe it's neutral to everything else. I don't believe he has an immunity. So, I mean, it is looking like that Dhelmise will almost be able to get the kill. Almost. Get it down to a point where I could just bring something in and revenge kill it easily. Now, I probably should have tried to preserve my Dhelmise a little bit better, because it does kind of wall his Mega Metagross, like, if I'm defensive at least, which I'm pretty sure I am. I'm fairly certain I am defensive. And, you know, it could hit pretty hard. Metagross is just such a pain to deal with. And Scarf Chomp does do some work, but not quite enough. As you'll see in one of my other battles that I recorded, it is not quite strong enough to take it out by itself. So he's probably doing some calcs here, making sure it doesn't take out his Celesteela, and I'm going to drink some more coconut. Flamethrower is not going to hit me because I am gone, and he's pretty much done. So at this point I'm thinking maybe he'll try switching it up, seeing that maybe I want to preserve this thing. Just maybe. Now, I obviously am just going to let it go down. He's going to get his boost, but it's not going to do him any good because it's so low of an HP. And I'm pretty sure I outspeed him with all the rest of my Pokemon. So, you know, I mean, I'm not in a bad spot. You know, I probably could have swapped into Toxapex here, ate up the Flamethrower, and taken it out with a Liquidation. You know, just hindsight, or maybe swapping into Garchomp, eat the Flamethrower. I just didn't want to risk a burn. That would have been worst case scenario, is getting burned. So he's going to get his Beast Boost. He's going to take down Delmise, which is fine. Delmise is kind of a throwaway mon I put on the team just in case someone decides to get up Hazards. And it's actually, I don't think I've ever really used it to actually get rid of Hazards, honestly. This has never really worked out that way for me. So I'm just going to bring out Tapu Lele here. I'm going to outspeed. He's just scouting to see what I do. I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball. Maybe kind of scouting to see if I'm choiced into something, what exactly I'm choiced into. Which is pretty smart because a lot of people do run Choice Specs or Scarf on Tapu Lele. Which I find interesting. Choice Specs definitely. Choice Scarf, I don't think it's quite fast enough. But it does, you know, outspeed normal Tapu Koko. But it does get outsped by like Choice Scarf Garchomp, which is probably the most common Choice Scarf user in the meta right now. Trying to think of anything else really. Yeah, I can't think of anything. I tried Choice Scarfing a Tapu Koko once, but I don't know if I ever really will ever upload one of those battles, because I don't think it did very well, because I think I Choice Scarfed it for doubles with like a Togedemaru with Lightning Rod. So he's taking his time sending out his next Pokemon here. Seeing he doesn't, you know, he can't use priority attacks because of my terrain, which I constantly forget that's what it does. I constantly forget that, so I'm always scared of the Bullet Punch or something, and I really shouldn't be. Sends out his Sanctus here, which is his Alolan Marowak. Now, I think I just stay in here and go for damage, honestly. I'm not 100% sure what I do. I should probably have rewatched this before doing this recording, but you know, I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball, and it's going to do some pretty good damage. And he actually goes to the Shadow Bone, but I live because he is not actually Thick Club. He is Leftovers, which I find interesting. I don't know really why you would ever run anything other than Thick Club unless you do not have one. Because it's just, he's so mediocre without it. Like, and he's not fast. His defenses are good, but I mean, he's slow, and they're not that good. They're like alright. But I'm just going to be able to take it out with 2 Shadow Balls. So he did get some damage. He did pop my berry, which is probably the worst thing about that. But I did take out something that is scary for my Celesteela, which, you know, is always good. It's always good to take down something that could take down my Celesteela. So he's just deciding what he's going to send out here. It still hasn't been revealed whether or not I am Scarfed or Specs or... Okay, I take that back. It just popped my berry. I lied. He knows that I'm not Scarfed or Specs. So, he gives him a lot more to, you know, freedom with the Pokemon he sends out. And this is another reason why doing a live recording of the battle and then trying to do post-commentary is there's such a long wait time. So long. So he sends out his TARDIS, which is his Mega Metagross. And this thing scares me. It always does. I really am going to bring a dedicated counter to it. Really am. I mean, it just puts in so much work. And, you know, with Psychic Terrain up, it gets Zen Headbutt and it's Stab. It hits so hard, and then there's Meteor Mash and Bullet Punch and Earthquake. Very scary Pokemon meta. Mega Metagross. Metagross, not so much. I can handle normal Metagross easily, every time, 10 times out of 10. So I'm just going to swap out and bring in my Celesteela, which does counter him relatively well. And I do expect a Meteor Mash or something. I kind of always hope that they forget that the Psychic Terrain, like I do, and go for a Bullet Punch. That's the greatest thing ever when that does happen, which doesn't happen much. So he goes for the Meteor Mash. It's resisted. I won't say I eat that up, but it doesn't do a whole lot of damage to me. So I'm kind of going to predict, I believe I predict a swap here. I mean, I might not. I don't remember. We'll just wait and watch, shall we? I think I go for the Leech Seed, or maybe I go for the Flamethrower. Do I? What do I do? We'll find out. I do go for the Leech Seed, which is good. I feel like getting seeds up is just great in every situation. Like, I don't have Protect on this thing, which is something that would be very useful to have, but instead I carry Toxic. Carry Toxic and Leech Seed just to help whittle away with leftovers. I mean, I don't really get one-shotted very often, except for with like Tapu Koko or something. And I'm especially defensive, so I might even be able to survive one. So he brings out Tapu Koko, and I think I just go for Flamethrower. Okay. Now it's always scary when Tapu Koko comes out, because he could either go for the Dazzling Gleam, expecting Garchomp to come in, or just go for the KO with Celesteela. So that's always quite a scary thing. I'm always like, what do I do? What do I do? But I always switch it up. So this time I might swap into Garchomp, but if I'm ever in the situation and I still have the Celesteela and the Garchomp, I'll stay in the next time. Oh, I just bring out Tapu Lele to get the initiative. But, okay, besides that, ignoring the whole play that I just made that I didn't know that I made. So, that's actually gonna bite me in the butt, seeing how little health that thing has. Anyways, but, like, I have Celesteela out, and he brings in Tapu Koko. Like, first time he does it, I'll bring out Garchomp, expecting the electric type attack. And then the next time I will do it, I'll stay in, because he'll probably predict the switch into Garchomp and go for Dazzling Gleam, and Dazzling Gleam does nothing to my Celesteela. That took way longer to say than I needed it to, but hold on. Sorry, my wife's texting me. So I'm just gonna go for the Leech Seed again. I just like that extra recovery, and I can survive one more attack from this thing easily. So I'm not in a bad spot. I wouldn't say that. So I'm just gonna go for the Flamethrower this time, and he goes for the Zen Headbutt, and that does, you know, pretty solid damage to me. And, you know, he can't go for the Bullet Punch, so, which doesn't matter, he outspeeds me anyways. But I do really solid damage with that Flamethrower, which I believe I am modest. So, just to give me that extra little boost. And, I'm actually gonna play it very risky here, and stay in against his Metagross. And that's, the best play I could have made, because he misses his Zen Headbutt, and I'm just going to be able to take him out with a Flamethrower. I'm sorry, guys. So that's a huge set down, and I do get a special defense boost, which is great, and I'm not in the worst situation HP wise. I'm in the yellow. I can't survive an electric attack even at +1. So, I mean, that would be insane, right? But I do still have my Garchomp. I do still have Garchomp. But, yeah, so he's taking his time. He's deciding what he's going to do. And he just brings out his Tapu Koko here. 7 Coco's at pretty low HP. And I've got, 3 Mons left. Celesteela, my Garchomp, and for the life of me I can't remember my Toxapex. There we go. So I don't know why I don't swap into my Garchomp. That would have been the smart play to make. I think it's because I am under the presumption that I can just sweep with Garchomp. I don't know why, but I just bring Garchomp out here, and I am going to go for, I believe I go for the Poison Jab here, which was a really, really bad play. Really bad. So at this point, I'm locked into Poison Jab. That's bad. I should have went for the Earthquake. 10 times out of 10, I should have went for Earthquake. No doubt in my mind. But he knows I'm locked into it, so he knows I gotta swap. And he is just going to go for the Earthquake against my Toxapex, and it just does so much damage. So much. So I'm gonna be able to survive one, but not well. And I'm definitely going down the next time. Even if I brought Garchomp back in here, he would have been able to hit me with an Earthquake and take me out with Ice Shard. So I was just in a bad spot. I was in a very bad spot here. At this point I realized that I had lost. There's no way for me to have won since I locked myself in a Poison Jab. So I really shouldn't have done it. I should have just locked myself in an Earthquake. But then he still would have been able to take out, Garchomp would have went down, but it would have been some serious damage on the Mamoswine, and then going down, and then coming in with Toxapex fresh and getting a liquidation off and getting the knockout that way, versus me losing this way, which it's fine. You can't win them all, and I don't. I really don't. I genuinely don't. I always learn from my mistakes. Try to, at least. But besides Savali, I think this team's really solid, and I might swap out Savali and Delmise, but we just saw Delmise take down a Celesteela with Flamethrower, almost. So if I would have went for Shadow Force like I thought I should have done, I actually would have been able to knock out the Celesteela. So he's just going to be able to go for another Ice Shard and take me out, and that is game. Now, it's a great battle, guys. I enjoyed doing it. I even enjoyed watching it again after the battle. So I hope you guys did too. Come follow me on Twitter. Support the channel if you guys want to. Patreon. And I still am doing a giveaway. I've got 120 total Tapus that I'm dying to give away to you guys. All you gotta do is go find the video. It's my rematch against... No, it's not. It's the battle against... that's taking on YouTube number 6. That's the battle. So go check that one out. Comment which Tapu you want, or maybe it's the other one. Anyways, have a great day, guys. Go claim a Tapu. See you later.